We are here in Chapman Radio on the Chapman University, and this is my second episode of Chopping It Up with Jimmy C Radio Live. This has been a wonderful episode. Thank you all for joining in, and please have a great day. Peace. I messed it up.
So don't forget to like.
Don't turn that one off.
So you don't miss our show.
Yeah, I messed it up.
We out.
Man,
Peace. One love.
I went into the wrong show. I had no idea what I was going into. Education was always important to my family and I. And I always wanted to finish up college. I would take classes at the University of Tampa. I didn't get a chance to complete my studies at that time. I was in Florida. I had two officers from Charleston, West Virginia. They approached me and said, well, we want to ask you some questions related to some crimes that happened in West Virginia. And I was like, well, what kind of crimes? What are you talking about? They said, well, crimes happen, and we want to ask you how your fingerprint got on a vase in West Virginia. And so I said, if my fingerprint got on a vase in West Virginia, you put it on there. As soon as I gave hair, as soon as I gave blood, as soon as I gave saliva, I was immediately arrested. Next thing you know, I was charged with two separate counts of sexual assault, robbery, burglary, and assault during the commission of a felony. The judge said, Mr. Gardner, is there anything you'd like to say before I commence the sentencing you? I said, yes, sir, there is. I said, F you, the prosecutor. I said, you're wearing the wrong robe. I said, your robe should be white with a white hood on. The judge commenced the sentencing and he said, first off, Mr. Gardner, you are a menace to society. And it gives me the pleasure to give you the maximum on all sentences. I ended up with 110 years that day. For my intro sweeper plays, I'm gonna keep it on audio.
On automated.
Automated.
And
then I'm gonna take it off and
take it off once the music bed starts playing.
go to manual.
And then remember, we're gonna do the slow fade.
Yeah. Since 1994, I've wanted to do professional speaking. I want to get messages out to the audience, and I want people to be empowered, and I want people to have voices that don't have voices or haven't had voices, because I know what it's like to not have a voice. The sounds.
Oh, the effects?
Yeah, the effects.
So where it says default down at the bottom?
Prison it's like another world. I'm telling you, my first day was mind-blowing. Literally. I'm telling you, I'm on the wall, standing back on the wall like, this is crazy. I watched a lot of men die in prison. So we would keep a list of all this. And I'm talking hundreds of men died off. 18 years old coming in, getting killed. 18, 19 years old dying, suicide. I had never witnessed suicide like that. I'd have to say in the beginning, I was just full of rage and hatred, and I had so much hurt, and I wanted to really act out and hurt others. It took me about 5 years of actually processing things and trying to make a positive change in my daily tasks, my mental, physical, and spiritual well-being, before I came to the understanding that I needed to focus on getting myself in a position to prove my innocence, because that's exactly what I would have to do in order to make it out. It's a special edition of Chopping It Up because we're talking about an issue that is so serious to our entire world. and that issue is homelessness. We're going to delve into some issues regarding homelessness and try to just figure out how we can try to make it a better world for all of us. I filed trying to get heard on a court review for 23 years. I just didn't file to the courts. I filed to the West Virginia State Supreme Court. I filed to the Circuit Court. I filed to the federal courts. I filed to the United States Supreme Court. I filed to the Lawyer Disciplinary Council, Judicial Ethics Commission. I filed to Innocence Projects. I filed to the President of the United States, 3 of them. And I never got heard. I never got heard. So you think not making a perfect radio show is gonna frustrate me? No, not hardly. I got the call. It was like 9:30 in the morning. He said, Mr. Gardner, are you standing or sitting? I said, I'm standing. He said, I have news for you this morning. I said, give it to me. He said, you might want to sit down. I said, I'm all right. Give it to me. What you got? He said, okay. Your sentences were vacated and your conviction was overturned. He said, how you feel? I said, I feel good. He said, you don't sound excited. You don't sound like it. I said, I already knew. I was just this calm too. Nothing could have told me anything outside of that. And I thank you all for joining in, and I ask that you please continue to support this channel, chapmanradio.live. Please view all of my social media sites. I've prayed and asked God to bless me in a position to have the microphone, to be able to share my story, to be able to talk about what I'm going through, and I've asked that I be able to do it in a humble way. I'm coming from not knowing anything about radio and DJing to having guests, doing interviews, putting my plan together about what I'm going to speak about, making sure my guests got all the information. Man, look, it's a blessing. I'm thankful. Keep things in perspective. Thank you all. I've enjoyed this, and I want to say have a good evening and God bless.